Hi, fourth grade. This is Mrs. Tidwell. I'm the instructional coach at Cottonwood Creek. Today we are going to continue our study of nonfiction, and today we are going to learn from nonfiction. And we're going to learn that as readers, we want to wrap our mental arms around the text. Fourth graders, listen up. Researchers say that to learn anything, you need to connect the new information you are learning with what you already know. You did that yesterday when you picked one of the two texts I presented to you and found a way to connect personally with the topic of that text. I think you are seeing that making a connection can help you turn that switch so you go from that waiting at the dentist reading look to actually reading to learn. That's always our goal. But there are other critical things to do before you start reading, and one of those is to preview the text in a way that helps you anticipate what you'll learn. I know you learned a lot last year about the importance of previewing a text and of revving up your mind to get ready to read. Today I want to teach you and remind you that nonfiction readers preview texts. They survey the parts of the text, paying attention to headings and topic sentences, and they use what they already know about the topic to think, this part seems to be about, and this other part seems to be about. Readers, believe it or not, there are actual researchers out there who study readers. Yeah, it's true. These researchers have found that a kid who begins reading a nonfiction text by looking over the whole text and thinking, how might this whole text go, ends up being a way better reader than a kid who just gets a text, opens it, and starts plowing through it. So the work you're doing is really important. You kind of have to boss yourself up a bit and think, hold on. Don't start reading yet. Look over the text. So yesterday we learned that to read nonfiction well, we want to make a connection to our text. We want to think about things we already know and things we care about. Today we are going to learn that we preview the whole text and predict how it might go. So we are going to use Everything Weather, which is going to be our new read aloud, but we are first going to just show and model what previewing a text looks like. So I flipped to a random page in the book, and oh my gosh, look at this cool fact. A mushroom makes a natural umbrella for this frog? No. Oh my gosh, wait. I want to read this book in a more grown-up way. I better get myself ready to read in a way that gets me thinking about the whole text, not just little bits and pieces of it. So I'm going to start over. Before I preview any further, I'm thinking of some of the subtopics this book might contain. I haven't read a book on weather for a while, maybe ever, but the weather affects my life, so I pay attention to it. And I know about it from watching the news. I also know that in nonfiction books, they are typically organized into subtopics. So since this book is Everything Weather, I expect it to discuss the different types of weather, like rain and snow. But then maybe it'll teach me about storms, like hurricanes and tornadoes. Let's check out the table of contents. So here's the table of contents. Let's see. What's the weather? Weather extremes. Weather predictions. Fun with weather. Looks like this book gives a lot of different angles. This is interesting. I was right, this book begins with types of weather and then teaches us about extreme weather. But there are two sections I didn't expect. Weather predictions, and another one, fun with weather. I wonder what those will teach. Think about what I have done so far to preview this book. Now I want you to notice the process when I flip to another page. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to notice the title, Whether or Not. Everybody talks about it. I notice the headings, and I might have some predictions on what those reveal. So tornadoes. So if this is all about weather, then maybe it's going to talk about different types of weather. I noticed the headings and what they predict, and it reveals about the upcoming text. It looks like this chapter might teach me some basics about weather. This section is almost like an introduction to the topic weather. The important things for you to realize is that now that you are in 4th grade, you don't just read more nonfiction. You also read nonfiction differently. The best way to get your mental arms around the whole text is to take the time to preview in a way that gives you a larger plan for the whole book, or even just the whole chapter. Today you'll continue to read easy, quick nonfiction and to read without taking notes. I want you to just read to learn. So, friends, what you're going to do is you are going to choose a book from our Mac and Via collection, a nonfiction book. And I want you to read for 20 minutes. And I want you to just read to learn. But I want you to do 2 things for me. I want you to make sure that you're previewing the whole text before you dive into it. And after you read a chunk of your topic, I want you to pause and think, did this teach me what I expected to learn, or am I a little surprised by what I'm learning? So again, you will find those nonfiction titles in our nonfiction collection on Mac and Via. You're going to read for 20 minutes, and I want you to do these 2 things. All right, readers, off you go.